and welcome to another YouTube video. I'm going to start by sharing an experience of mine that actually led me down a crazy rabbit hole. I was trying to figure out where to have dinner. I wanted to order in and I was feeling like having sushi. Honestly, it was crazy the amount of options I had, and that's amazing, right? To be able to choose from a plethora of different options. The problem, however, I got so confused, I ended up just eating a sandwich at home. Defeated the purpose of the entire process. But that made me think about the concept of choice overload, which actually sits very close to decision fatigue. So let me tell you how this started. In the early 2000s, Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper actually created an experiment. They had two booths with a bunch of jams. In one booth there were 6 jams and in one there were 14. They had a lot more people come in and visit the booth that had 14 jams. But it seems that the booth that had 6 jams actually was more profitable than the other one because they ended up selling more. And that brings me to this entire concept that when you show customers a lot of options, you give them so much to think about. You're actually reducing their cognitive ability to make a decision, right? Because they're giving them so much to think about, so much more to do. Whereas if you give them lesser options, you're telling them, hey man, this is all you get. Choose from here, make it quick, be happy. So how do we kind of fit this into a positioning space? How do we fit this into building our brand? And how do we fit this into helping us differentiate ourselves from competitors? 1. Let's make sure we give them fewer options to choose from. Now that sounds really obvious, right? But how about we understand who our target market is? And I keep stressing about this. I think that it is so important to really understand your customer. Let's understand their pain point. Let's understand what they actually want, what they actually need. And then let's sell the product that is solving that problem of theirs first. Let's not go all ham on selling them all the other 14 products that we've got. Let's just focus on that one product, right? Because that's just going to put things into perspective for them. They know what they need to solve. You're giving them the answer to that. You're making life so much easier for them. They don't need to think about what to buy from you. They know what they need. Let them start there. 2. Make the option seem low risk, not low value, right? Give them a range of different testimonials. Let them experience the value that other people have experienced. And if you see some of my earlier videos, we've spoken about how branded content versus founder-led content or UGC-led content works much better. It's just how the mind works, right? And so you want to ensure that when you are telling people about a particular product or a particular service, you're kind of giving them an entire option of choosing of what people's experience has been of them. So reviews, but honest reviews. We are not talking about pumping up your page with fake reviews, right? You want people to actually try your product and then give you a review. How you can mitigate any kind of loss of that being negative is by making sure that you create a really good product to start with. How you can get more testimonials to come through is how you can actually ask people to maybe give them a discount or a complimentary product, or maybe ask them to share their review and get a discount for the next purchase. So that's really interesting as well. 3. Simplify your communication. You have the product. You have the solution to the problem that they have, right? You're solving it, but you're not communicating that. Have an easy way of communicating the value that you're providing. Don't layer it. Don't try to be fancy. Don't overuse ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Jasper. I don't even know. Keep it simple. If your product is good, it's definitely going to work. If your product is solving a customer problem, it is definitely going to work. You just need to be able to clearly explain that to your customer. 4. Create category leadership. Now what I mean by this is, rather than saying, I've got this skincare product that solves acne, right? Let's talk about this from a different perspective altogether. Let's talk about this from a space of talking about the ingredients, how they're good for your skin, and how they're going to build your skin barrier to maybe not allow the entire offset of acne happening on your face altogether. So build a different category, try to be a leader in that space, try to own the communication in that space. And honestly, I think this would be the easiest starting point to help differentiate your brand from that of competitors. A lot of people get this wrong in small spaces where the testimonials come across as really fake. The reviews are going into hundreds when the product has just about launched, and we all know no one's really used the product. I think we need to give our customers some credit. They're smart, they're educated, and we need to treat them that way as well. So it's important to understand that when we're building on working a brand, when we're trying to differentiate from a particular category, options always probably aren't the best idea. Hit the nail on the head, get your positioning correct, solve the customer problem first, and hopefully you're gonna have $1 million brand that everyone's gonna love. I hope this helped. Bye.